It's bright and early right here on Channels Television. I'm sure where you are, if you're in Nigeria, welcome to the Morning Brief. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.
We hope that wherever you are, your weekend was filled with bright sparks and it's set to get even brighter. Welcome to the program that makes it just that. I am Bukola Koka.
Congratulations to Nigeria. Well, through Senegal. Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm Kayode Okikulu.
I feel a total sense of justice. Absolutely delighted to all played out yesterday. Nothing to take away from the Moroccan team for what they've done, built their system, their league, and you cannot take away the beautiful football that Morocco plays. But because of how, what they call confirmation bias, as for how the entirety of the AFCON has gone, looking like it's always about ensuring that the host nation wins AFCON. So whatever is being done on the field of play is being seen from a very biased angle. But at the end of the day, it was very clear so what happened against Nigeria between Morocco, Kalbi, Brahim Diaz, Gamani, all of those gentlemen are supposed to have been carded in that particular match. But hey, it's football. While it happened yesterday, I'm happy, guys, that the embarrassment that was coming to African football did not eventually happen. It would have been that Senegal had walked out of a final of an African football because they were like, okay, if you want to give them the cup, just take and give them the cup. But at the end of the day, we're happy. Well, there are so many people that can look at it. I believe that was a foul to a large extent. But there's something about timing and sentiment and momentum of a game that you allow, given the importance of the hour, so that it looks like, okay, you won fair and square. But because of that bias of when it comes to host nations, especially with Morocco in this particular tournament, whether it was a right or wrong call, nobody wants to listen. But for me, I just feel a good sense of justice, nothing to take away from the Moroccan team. But Senegal, thank you. And thank you, Sadio Mane, for stepping up to protect the game, for respecting the game, for being able to rally your guys. And maybe this is justice for your maturity. That's all I have to say.
Well, bronze looks like gold to me for starters, and that's why I'm in green today. Okay. Congratulations to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They eventually got bronze for Nigeria. They won that match against Egypt, albeit on penalties. For the Senegal and Morocco match, I knew that the commentary that will come through today will be that this is vindication for the officiating that, you know, we complained and bellyached so much about last week on the program. And, you know, commentary also coming through is that the Senegalese team demonstrated awesome maturity by how they managed, you know, the game on Saturday over the weekend. And, you know, the coach stood by the team, even though after they walked off, they eventually returned. And, of course, all was well that ended well. But, Jeffrey, the management is something that we should talk about yet again, you know, with, you know, fans trying to get onto the pitch, security, and all of that. It's not about, you know, a victory for West African football alone. We should look at it holistically about how this looks for African football, because whether we like it or not, it was played on African soil. The management is about how Africa manages its football. And so it's not very good market in its entirety for the African continent. And we must, you know, reflect on better ways of managing African football, such that fairness is fairness. Officiating is seen to be fair to all, and you know, it doesn't have to work out in a way, as you said, Jeffrey, earlier on, that the host nation must win a match. So for me, the embarrassment is for the entire continent itself, not just for one part of Africa, because, you know, justice eventually came for West Africa. And so football must be managed in a better way subsequently. But absolutely, all was well that ended well.
Absolutely dramatic scenes from Morocco yesterday. That was a final. I mean, it had extras even. You know, you had the full, you know, the full makings, the full trappings of a final, and it even gave us extra. I mean, that's what football is. All of the emotions. Of course, it's no more football when we start seeing all of these ugly sides of it. But a few lessons to learn. First off, be very, very good at what you do. Senegal was absolutely brilliant yesterday. They were all over the place. Never mind they were playing against the top team in Africa, a team that made it to the semis of the World Cup, the host nation. Senegal still played their match, and they played it till the end. Morocco did well, I must say. Secondly, absolutely protest when you are cheated. Right? Enough is enough of being cheated, and you say, okay, let me just be quiet, except you're expressly told, maybe from the spirit, or that is your strategy. But if you're cheated, absolutely speak up. Enough is enough of being cheated and you just take it. No, speak up, take action. But here is the caveat. You must listen to good counsel. You saw when Sadio Mane was spoken to by former coach Claude Leroy, that was absolutely timely. And he listened. In fact, he quoted that advice as one of the reasons he told his colleagues to come back from the dressing room. And of course, never stop playing the game. There are lots of lessons from yesterday's match. I don't know what CAF is going to do about that attempted walkout by the players. But let's find out from our very own Austin Okon-Akpan, who joins us live from Morocco. Austin, what a night yesterday. It's good to see you in one piece. I don't know if you changed your jersey to Morocco jersey, but speak to us about what we saw last night, Austin. You were there.
Spotted greetings to you, Kayode, Bukola, Jeffrey. Good to be with you guys on the morning brief. What a night of football. Wow. So yesterday I concluded that football is crazy. Like, it's so crazy. If you don't have the heart for football, please stay off. Who misses a penalty in the 90th minute? And with everything that the fans did, the fans needed just 3 hours, 3 minutes of their own moment. And when they found out that the penalty had missed, they went back straight into that mood of supporting their team, singing and dancing. Yeah, you were right. I was sitting right there at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium, and I was saying to myself, if Morocco don't win, how are we going to get out of this stadium? I thought I could go out, just do a bit of fans reporting. And all of I said, no, just stay at the mixed zone. And you guys thought you saw drama? This one is small. During the post-match conference, the Senegalese coach, Papetel, came out for his briefing, and then the Moroccan fans started booing him. He was there with his daughter. They booed him till he left, and so that conference was cancelled, but it didn't just end there. Moroccan journalists and Senegalese journalists started their own fight. Kayode, it was crazy. I was like, what's going on? Why does football command this much emotions, passion? You know, because it took just a moment of, you know, you are right there at the stadium, your eyes trying to catch where the news is coming from. And I'm like, what's going on? The Senegalese fans have already taken over, you know, that section where they were, and then they started, you know, fighting the officials, causing so much trouble. The bench, they were also having that seat right there. Allowed the referee go and check the video assistant referee to know what's going on. They were all sorts, Coyote. But in the end, we're glad that the eventual winner came out. The one that people believe deserves to win it, you know, won it. But what a crazy night of football. Shameful scenes, disgraceful, embarrassing, not what Africa should represent. Remember the last time I was on this show, guys, I was charging the Confederation of Africa Football, and people just started coming for me online. And I'm like, look, the game is going beyond kicking it on the pitch. Do a lot for fans' education, kill the win at all costs, and ensure that we have balanced officiating. We suffered it against Morocco in the semi-finals. I want to say the referee in the final did his bit. He tried. It was a lot better than Ghanaian referee, than Elie, but you can tell that he was under so much pressure. Coyote, there's no way you'll be inside that Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium that you will not have nerves. Even as a normal spectator, the noise, you see those Moroccans, the way they are shouting, screaming. I tweeted that noise can open the ears of a deaf man. Crazy.
Not just crazy, Austin, embarrassing. You know, there were reports about the concerns for safety of the Senegalese team even ahead of this match. Let's talk about what the responsibility of AFCON should be, you know, going forward in terms of perhaps maybe psychological preparation ahead for all stakeholders involved in match preparations, particularly with critical matches like, you know, the finals and semi-finals of AFCON matches, you know, such that we can have better African representation going forward in crucial, you know, tournaments like this?
So I've come to realize that you cannot take away mind games and antics from football, Bukola. There's just so much tied to it. But then again, it's important we highlight responsible leadership for Africa's football. And that's why I keep saying it's not a win at all costs, because in our world of sports, we understand that it is soft power and that it has the power to transform lives, to unite persons, countries, in fact, the world, you know. But these days, people are beginning to put politics into it, and that's why it is struggling. I agree with you. You know, when Senegal protested that they were not going to train at that Mohammed X Stadium, it was the same thing I was saying, that why did Nigeria train there? They have robotic cameras there. They have CCTV all over. They can just sit in one room recording all your tactical sessions. Nigeria trained them, trained right there to play Morocco. Senegal said, no way, we're not. They protested. They came out strong, you know. This is what I keep saying, that as a country, we must have proper representation in not just CAF, but world football, that someone that is respected, that when our voice, you know, is heard, they'll say, no, we can't mess around with them. So Senegal knew what was going on, and they said, we're not going to allow this. I think what they did was they just watched what happens to Nigeria, and they said they're not going to let it happen. They had something good going for them. They played all their matches in Tangier. I still don't know how CAF did that, which was a big advantage for them. We were doing so well in Fez. Imagine if they had left Nigeria to play all their games down to the semi-finals in Fez and come to Rabat to play the final. Same thing with Morocco. They played all their matches in Rabat, including the final. So you can tell that, no, there's something wrong somewhere. But let me speak for the Moroccan people. I've been here for close to a month. They're nice people. They're welcoming. When they see this, I think it's national orientation. They have it as a sense of responsibility to take care of you, to look after you. I didn't see any trouble outside the stadium. I didn't see any trouble before the match. It's that responsibility that I'm talking about. You know, they are willing to help, even when you can't speak Arabic or French. They want to get on with a translator to, you know, guide you. And I know this one, they love Nigeria. They love Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria, Nigeria. Oh, sorry. We didn't make it to final. They want to help, you know. Even when we played Egypt, you could tell they gave Nigeria 100% support. When we played Algeria, they gave us the same support. Maybe not because they love us so much with the football, but because they didn't want that rivalry. In case Algeria gets to beat Nigeria and plays them, you know, they know it will be intense. But there's still so much work to be done, you know. And this is what I keep saying to Patrice Motsepe and his team. The business environment, it starts with the mindset of Africans, you know. That's our business. That's when you sow the seed, you know. If people are looking at football, oh, we must win it so we can use it to go and achieve this, they are not making progress. The last time I was on your show, guys, I said it. England, they are not bothered if they win the World Cup, but there is no football business conversation in the world that you want to have that England will not sit on that table, because they have a system, they have structures that they have put together that, look, it's plug and play and they'll keep winning. That's what we must do in Africa, because this win at all cost thing is going to ruin our football. Bukola.
Austin, a lot has been said about this AFCON. In fact, I saw somebody did more like a chronicle of when I think Motsepe was saying this is the best AFCON. They were reminding him of, you know, the blights and the bad spots of this AFCON. But this is our game. It's a family meeting, as they call it. But talk to us about what now happens to the Senegalese coach. Will he be reprimanded for his behavior, for calling a boycott? Because I was especially thinking, man, it's great to see that protest. As you said, they didn't want what happened to Nigeria to happen to them. That kind of disoriented the Moroccans, I think so, to a large extent, because you can see after that particular incident, the force we used to see, the momentum kind of reduced and picked up again, then reduced, was fluctuating. But what happens to the coach? What's the rule? What's the rule book saying?
No, he should be cautioned. He deserves to be reprimanded. That would have been the biggest embarrassment that we've witnessed in Africa's football, that the final match, a team gets to walk out, you know. He didn't come out to the mixed zone. I really wanted to speak to him, particularly with what happened to him at the post-match conference again. He's definitely having a terrible night. I doubt he'll be able to sleep when he thinks about and remembers everything that he has been through. Give CAF maybe 2 weeks, they will come back to Senegal. They definitely will get punished. That I know. They are not going to escape it, you know. What their fans did, what the coach did, because they'll find a way to interpret it into Coach Pape inciting violence. You know, it's not bringing the game to disrepute. And that's, let's look at it, that was what it is. Shout out to Mane. Television doesn't really show us everything, you know. He was telling his teammates, just as, it's like there was one spirit somewhere whispering to him, tell them to come back. Tell them to come back. Brahim Diaz won't score. He kept saying, no, let's not go. Guys, get in here. You know, and look, as I said, 5 minutes of drama. I've not witnessed this sort of drama, you know, and I was right there in the stadium, so it was so real. I was like, what's going on? It happened so quick, Jeffrey. And at the mixed zone, I spoke to Kalidou Koulibaly, the captain of the Senegalese team, and he said they couldn't take the injustice. That was what he said. He described it as injustice, that they couldn't, like it was just too much. But with the officiating, guys, we all know football, even if it's basic. The penalty call was right. Yes, it was a clear penalty. The goal that was disallowed, there was a push that didn't allow the defender, the Moroccan player, to deal with the ball. So that was the right call. But, you know, emotions just all over the place because of, you know, some of the things that they've seen referees do for Morocco in previous matches and all, and this happened. It's not good. We were going to celebrate arguably one of the best organized AFCON, and in a way I agree with Mosepe, but for the officiating, Cote d'Ivoire was a lot better with officiating. But as I said, if you get into the stadium where Moroccan fans were close to 67,000 inside that stadium last night, 67. It was the Red Sea, Jeffrey. There is no way a referee will not crack. There is no way somebody will not misbehave in there with the noise, with the support that, you know, the Moroccans were getting. But it is what it is. The god of football chose Senegal, said this is your day. And what a goal. What a goal from Papagaye. What a goal. Just when, you know, Morocco blinked, you start asking yourself, what was Brahim Diaz thinking? Going for a Panenka in the 90th minute. Gracious goodness. God bless his soul. Baba Rashidi Yekini. Yekini will tear that net. The Wab picked the ball in Casablanca. I don't know what's going on with this young. Now you see why we should pardon Samuel Chukwueze. He missed the penalty and everybody started, oh, this, oh, that, oh, that. Penalties, is a game of lottery. Can you believe it that Mo Salah didn't score his penalty? Mamouche didn't score. And today in a crucial final game, last night in a crucial final game where Brahim Diaz would have put his name right into the history books of Moroccan football. He played an incredible... It's like my grandmother kicked it. It's unbelievable. We need to see Moroccans inside that stadium when he missed that penalty, Jeffrey.
It was heartbreak all over. I mean, Panenka at that point, and you know, videos emerged again. Mendy's not new to Panenkas. It happened against, you know, Man City when he was in Chelsea. So it was almost like, what I love, he just stayed and grabbed the ball. But Austin, we have to thank you for this coverage. It's been a very intense competition, and you've been there, very dependable. I'm curious, though, what is it with Moroccans and goalkeepers' towels? I'm very curious. It happened with Nwabali. It happened with Mendy. Are they keeping like the towels as some sort of trophy? Quickly, Austin, we have about 10 seconds.
You know, it's all this voodoo talk that when they are playing West Africans, there are things we put in our towels that when they bring it, you know, they rub something on it and put it at the back of the goalpost. Nonsense, you know. So I just don't get it. They did it to Nwabali. They wanted to do it to the Senegalese. They already picked 2 of Mendy's towel, and it was one of the players in the reserve that saw what was happening and said, no way. You see all sorts of drama they gave to us, but I'm sure they will go back now and think about it. That was senseless, it was stupid, you know. If you play a team that is good, if you like, put everything. It makes me remember when we were growing up, Kyle and say Nigeria played India, and when they shoot the shot, goalkeeper Emmanuel Okon-Akpan, we see the ball will turn into a lion, and then nothing will happen with all those things. I don't understand who brings those football stories. I don't know who spoke to the Moroccans and said, look, when these West Africans come to town, they will bring some sort of voodoo with their towel. Let's go for it. It's crazy. Dear. But hey, at the end of the day, I think football won.
Yeah.
We saw beautiful football, and we will talk about it for so many years to come.
Absolutely. Austin, so see you at Pamoja 2027, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. We'll see how that plays out. Wish you the very best, Austin. Stay safe, okay? Keep that Morocco jersey on all the way until you leave Morocco, and have a great day.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, guys.
Jeffrey.
Absolutely. Quite an engaging conversation with Austin. I remember Rashidi Yekini, for instance. We know where Rashidi will play the ball, but we can guarantee you will not catch the ball. Panenka doesn't work at those crucial moments. But hey, shout out to Senegal, shout out to Morocco for giving us a great tournament.